Hey guys, I just got a bunch of comments, like literally at the same time, all about this. Apparently, this guy used to work for Rockstar. According to the YouTube comments I got, people wanted me to watch this and, give my opinion on it. So this is from York Reacts. I'm not taking credit for the video or anything. It's called "Why Does a PC Port for GTA 6 Take So Long to Come Out?" I'm gonna take a look and we'll see what he has to say.
Now today we're going to be diving into why are PC ports taking so long to come after initial games are kind of being released.
His
Now,
mic is very poppy. That bothers my autism, but I'll turn it down a little bit, so hopefully it doesn't bother me so much.
this has been a big question for a lot of my viewers and recent subscribers. By the way, huge shout out. Holy shit, you guys killed it. Every single it's really wild. I'm getting a taste of like little viralness or whatever you want to call it, man. Almost every time I pick up my phone and refresh, my subscriber count is gone hundreds higher than it was before. It's just really wild. I'm really appreciative and grateful that YouTube has kind of gave me this platform to put my stuff out there and really recommended it to all these different people. So now I'm, seeing a bunch of new people come in, and it's just a breath of fresh air with all you guys coming in. So I really appreciate all that. I think I'm going to do a giveaway at 30,000 subscribers. I should be reaching there pretty soon, which is, like I said, I can't even believe I'm saying that out of my mouth. It sounds crazy. Anyway, I'll be giving
Good for
a
him.
huge giveaway at 30K, so
Very cool.
subscribe if you're not already because it'll be a big giveaway, trust me. Now, let's dive into why a PC port takes so long to come out after the initial console release. Now, we're
Please.
specifically going to be talking about high-end games like AAA games like Rockstar Games develops, when they release a port for GTA 5, why does it take 2 years afterwards to come out or however long, right? Now, one of the main reasons why a PC port will take so long to come out after a console release is because the developers want to make it as best as possible, and they have to work out all these little
Sure.
bugs that they haven't been kind of working on and putting to the side and they haven't seen yet, right? Because one of the main things I want to touch on is that the reason why a PC port comes later and not like the first thing that comes out is because they want to prioritize what sells, right? Most of the time, especially in the past.
Okay, so my initial comment about it being for money. I'm not being disproven so far, but okay, I'll let him continue.
PlayStation was like the big seller, right? PlayStation was like the console to have. It sold more copies than any other console for the most part. Everybody's playing PlayStation. So, what the developer would do is they would focus all their energy on making sure the PlayStation port and the PlayStation game worked really good, right? And then they would like kind of port it to the Xbox. Like usually they would do it at the same time. Okay, so like when I was working over on Grand Theft Auto 5, for instance, we were concentrating on the PS5 or PS.
By the way, I'm not gonna like do a background check because honestly, I don't care enough. So I'm not gonna background check and check this dude's LinkedIn and everything to make sure he's actually a dev on Rockstar. I'll just take his word for it because once again, I don't care enough. Um, so yeah.
3 and the Xbox at the time, right? And but we were mainly pushing the PS3 to the limits because the PS3 was like kind of better hardware at the time to use memory and different things. And so we put
Yeah,
all
if
our
you could work
energy
around
into
the
that,
cell infrastructure,
optimizing
it
it the
was
best we can
definitely way
for that
better.
console, right? Then we kind of port that version to the Xbox kind of simultaneously. We're working on like both versions, right? And testing them. And the PC version is kind of like the version that's in the background that is running the two versions, right? And building them. And there's always a PC version of the game, but it's not quite like polished. It's just kind of feeding the other games and making them work, right? I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I visualize it. Now, when you kind of want to port the game, now that you've got the game looking let's say now you got the game looking really good on PlayStation, right? It's playing really good, it's got good FPS, everything's going pretty good, very few bugs, and it's ready. You release to public. Well, now you can start focusing on the PC port, right? Now when the developer goes into the PC port, you know, part of the process.
So my initial question right then and there, okay, got it. You finished the PlayStation version. You've probably finished the Xbox version. Now you're going to work on the PC version. Why do you need to release it? Like, why do you have to release it the moment that you fix the console versions? Why don't you just wait to release all of the versions until they are all up to snuff? Imagine he said, they focused on PlayStation first. So why don't they just, oh, the PlayStation version is done. Let's just release that. And then, the next, oh yeah, like it's going to take an extra 4 months or whatever to get the Xbox version up to snuff on the PlayStation version. We'll just release the Xbox version in another 4 months. Why don't they do that? Money. Money is the answer. And this has always been my take is I understand it takes longer to make a PC port. Delay the game until the PC port is done. That has always been my my statement on it, right? So I don't know. So far, I don't understand why people are sending me this video, wanting me to, comment on it. Because I'm not seeing anything that changes my views on this, but maybe I'll hear something crazy.
What they're going to do is they now have new ideas to push things. For instance, like they might go into a scene and go, "Ooh, we have it on PC now. We have a little bit more memory. We can add some
A
fog
lot
in
more
here like
memory.
we always wanted to, but it was too much for the console." They can do a lot of different things like
Sure.
adding in more characters or different stuff. They
You
can
see this in
populate
like
better
the PlayStation
foliage
games, right?
because the PC hardware, depending on what PC you have, is going to be able to run it better. So they're going to optimize it for like the best PC parts that are available today, like the 4090 or whatever that's out, right?
Okay, well that you should probably optimize for a weaker PC and then any bonus effects and stuff, sure, it'll work on higher end PCs. But yeah, you see this all the time in PlayStation games when they port them to PC, right? Horizon Zero Dawn, they were very excited when they first ported that to PC because they're like, oh, we can finally have, all of the shadows on the grass and all of the grass physics and stuff like that. And that was a big selling point actually when they were advertising the PC port about all these extra new features that they have on the PC version. Absolutely. Once again, still don't understand why you don't just make all of those improvements and then release them all at the same time.
But that being said, this is very important for everybody to remember. One of the main reasons why a PC port will take so long is because it's different architecture and
Right.
different kind of components.
On every
Okay, they have
PC.
to accommodate for all these different things that can happen because
Everybody knows
on a
this.
PlayStation and
It's
an
all the same
Xbox,
configuration.
each one of those has one graphics card, and it's the same graphics card. It's the same kind of architecture inside the box as every single PlayStation that's shipped
Right.
to millions of people.
Everybody knows
But when
this.
it comes to a PC, every single person has a different PC. They're running it differently. They have different hardware in there. They have different kind of CPUs and GPUs.
Once again, I'm not one of these people where I'm like PC making a PC port is super easy. I've never said that. I've never ever said that. I've always just said release all the versions at the same time. I've never ever been like, oh yeah, making a PC port is easy. I'm not one of, you'll see it in the comment section of that video. I think there's a few comments that say like, oh yeah, why is it so hard to make a PC port? They're making the game on a PC. I have never said that though. I've seen those comments, but I've never said that. I understand how much work goes into it, all of the variables you have to account for. I'm a fucking scientist, dude. I understand variables and I understand when you have more and more of them, how difficult it can be to actually get a favorable outcome. Okay, I understand.
And the memory usage and the different things that the game is doing in the background can sometimes hit a fail and mess up during different configurations.
Yeah,
It's kind of hard to explain, but that's what it boils down to. They need to test the game more on PC than they
mm-hmm.
would on an Xbox or a PlayStation.
Sure.
And if you think about it, you already have to test the game a ton in order to get it to work. So a PC is even harder. You
Yeah,
got to throw more resources at it. You have to test things a lot more. And when you're doing the PC port, you have to test things on multiple different hardwares, different GPUs, not just one or two, like 10, 20 different one. And
Right?
there's so
We
many different
understand this.
configurations out there that you'll just never be able to test them all. And there's a lot of things that can go wrong once you kind of release that PC port because
Sure.
it just hasn't been tested by thousands or millions of people, right? It's only been tested by 1,000 people or whatever at work. So you can only take it
And
so
1,000 QA testers is a lot. Like that's a rock star number, dude. Most QA teams, from everything I've seen from devs, is like a couple dozen. You know, it's nowhere near 1,000. Like that's a crazy QA team.
far. So most of the time, like you see out there, you see Arkham Asylum. That game got bashed for its bad PC port. But if they would have took a little longer, probably, and ironed it out, tested it more, tested it against different
It
configurations and
runs
different
fine
things like
now.
that, and really push things more, then it would have made it out okay and unscathed, right? But a lot of times people are so antsy for the PC port, they want it right now. But I want it now. It's hard to do that as a developer because the team isn't big enough. If they had
Once again, I know I sound like a broken record. I don't need it right now. We already have to wait until 2025. What's waiting until 2026, right? The only problem I have with waiting, and this is what people don't seem to understand, like PC gamers are patient and we can be patient for a while. The thing is, we don't want to have to wait longer than everyone else. That's the thing, right? Because that's when spoilers become a thing, and now you can have your experience of a game severely hampered because you got spoiled for something because people have been playing it on console for an entire year before you, right? So that's the thing. We can be patient. We can wait for a good PC port or whatever. Absolutely, as long as that's coming out at the same time as everything else. It's once you get that disparity in release dates that it becomes an issue. And that's what we have problems with. And that's when we go, okay, just release a Starfield type port where you need a beastly rig to run it, but at least we can play it at the same day, right? That's when you get that. And of course, there's a bunch of reasons why developers don't want to do that because of an Arkham Knight situation where maybe the PC port isn't up to snuff, and then a lot of people complain about it, and you get that negative publicity around your game when you launch. I totally understand that. However, this is why I'm firmly on the side of just wait. You know?
a huge team, they just have one team work on the PC, one team work on the Xbox, and the whole time they'd be trying to optimize all three kind of at the same time, right? But it just doesn't work that way. We don't have the money, we don't have the resources, we don't have the manpower, and so we kind of just prioritize.
Okay. You don't have the money and you don't have the resources. Rockstar has more money and more resources than practically every single other development team out there. I mean, it's absurd. 6,000 people worked on GTA 5. 6,000. You know how many people work at Bethesda, like on Starfield? Like 200. Okay? Like, really just take that into perspective here. Rockstar has more resources at their disposal than anybody. If anybody could develop and crank out anything in a decent time, it's Rockstar. But I agree for, practically every other dev team out there that statement is true.
Prioritize what's best for the company's like money, right? What's going to sell best? Well, most likely it's the PlayStation. So let's put all our energy into the PlayStation and then the Xbox and then the
Money.
PC. The
Yeah.
PC is getting more and more popular nowadays, as you guys can tell. If you got
Hmm.
a PC, shout out to you because this is the time to really push these games to the limits. A lot of these games are going to be coming to PC. Almost every PlayStation game that's going to be coming out in the future will most likely have a PC port, especially if it's a big game.
Except
Because I
Bloodborne.
think that's what they're trying to do now. Is kind of
To
try to get
everyone's
because it's the best
dismay.
hardware, right? They can show the game in its best light. So hopefully this gives a little bit of a breakdown on why these PC ports take so long. It's just because of all these different hardwares and all this different stuff.
Right.
There's a lot that goes into it. I heard one guy say it's not rocket science, but
Mhm.
It might be harder than rocket science in some situations. Like literally, this stuff is very
At least all
complicated with the
rockets are the same
coding and the different things
configuration,
that
you
you
know,
have to
that you're
do in
working
order to
on.
get it to work properly and all the testing you have to do. So don't get mad at the developers or come at them and get, and be upset. Just try to give them the benefit of the doubt. Try to give them the time to hopefully deliver these ports. Go in the comment sections on these and say, hey, it's okay, guys. Take your time. Take your time. Let the developers know that it's okay to
I
take
am
their time.
so okay with developers taking their time once again, as long as it's releasing at the same time. I am so okay. If they wanted to wait until 20 fucking 30 to release GTA 6, if it meant they could release all the versions at the same time up to their quality standard, I would be like, go for it. Fucking go for it. And I know the console people wouldn't. The console people would be crying their eyeballs out. They'd be, no, no, we could play this in 2025. But listen, man, I got a PS5. I'm literally playing Final Fantasy. I'm in the middle of playing Final Fantasy 16 right now, you know? So, like, listen, I'm totally okay with devs taking their time if it means that we can get the quality standard that they're okay with. It's not a matter of rushing them. It's just this, like I said, I just want them to come out at the same time. I don't want to be spoiled. And I don't want other people to be spoiled. You know, I might have a PS5. There's a lot of people out there that don't. And you can see it in the comment sections of any of this GTA 6 stuff, my comment section on my video or whatever. A lot of people saying I only have a PC. Oh, I guess I have to go save up a couple $100 and buy an Xbox Series S so I can, play GTA 6. It's ridiculous, man.
Time so that they can deliver the best game they can to you. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what buttons to press. I appreciate all the new subscribers and all the new people coming my way. If you want to check out some other videos and breakdowns, I
Don't know anything about making a game or coding something, and your series of videos are helpful for people getting an idea how things. Okay, so honestly, literally nothing said here was new to me. I understand it. It might be new to those people that comment, they're making the game on a PC. Like, why does it take so long? It's probably news to those people, but I follow Alana Pierce, and I followed her for years. I follow actual game devs like Mike Bithell, right? I watch a bunch of podcasts and stuff like that around game dev. So I understand game dev and I understand these things. So, like, none of this is news to me, and none of this has any impact on anything that I said in my initial video, right? Unfortunately, I had literally like 3 or 4 people already, and this video's only been out 4 hours, right? And I already have had 3 or 4 people comment on that video telling me to watch this and telling me it explains this. It doesn't. So I feel like the people that are commenting that probably didn't even watch my video, because none of this is any sort of like refutation on anything that I say in that video. All I say in that video is that I really wish it would come out at the same time, and for them to delay the console version as well. That's it. And then I even gave them an olive branch and said you can release, a shittier PC version on the level of like a Starfield or something like that if it means that we can play day one. So, yeah, I don't really know why this was recommended so much to me. It's not a bad video or anything like that. And once again, this is from York Reacts. I try and give credit to people when they make videos like this. I don't usually do reactions, but reacting to a reaction channel is kind of funny. But yeah, I still am in the exact same place. None of this has really changed my mind on it, and I'm not too sure why people would think that it would, because I mean, he said it perfectly at the beginning and at the end. Why do they do it? Money. I mean, that's honestly the number one thing. Like, they make the most money from console people, so they want to release that version, make sure that version's the best, and then release that as soon as possible, right? Because they want to get that money. I mean, that's really all it is. They know, oh, we could release the game and get, I'll even lowball PC numbers. let's say PC numbers only account for 10% of the sales of the game. So for them, especially when you start taking the like Take Two into account, right? Because I don't think a lot of this stuff is actually on Rockstar. Rockstar's the development team. I think a lot of it comes down to Take Two, which is in general a super scummy company. Like, if you look into Take Two, they've done some disgusting stuff, especially like around Borderlands 3. Absolutely some disgusting stuff. But anyway, um, when you start taking into the fact that they're like, okay, so we could we have the PlayStation version and it's up to snuff. And then we have the Xbox version and it's pretty good. It's not as good, but it's pretty good. And we can release it in 2025. And that'll be 90% of our sales. We can get it in 2025. Or we can wait, until 2026 or 2027, God forbid, for the PC version to be done, which is only 10% of the sales, and we can release them all at the same time. Of course, it makes business sense, you know, to release it and get your 90% sales. But let's be real, I think PC probably accounts for a bit more than 10% of sales, especially now. Like, a lot more people are PC gaming than ever before, and it shows no signs of slowing down whatsoever. But yeah, I think it makes sense. However, that doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make me happy with it. And yeah, overall, it's kind of a it is what it is situation. I made the video. It was just an angry rant. And unfortunately, this video does nothing to change my opinion. So it is what it is. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye bye. Bye bye bye.